Hi, this is Melanie for the Pardesi channel. I'm here to do a review of the Malayalam film Njaan, starring Dulquer Salmaan. Last week was Dulquer Salmaan's birthday. Happy birthday, Dulquer. And he's one of my favorite actors in Malayalam films. And I had a DVD of the film Njaan from 2014 that I had not seen yet. So I thought it was appropriate to watch one of his older films. This is a film that is based on, it's an adaptation of a novel by T.P. Rajeevan, which is called K.T.N. Kottur, Ezhuthum, Jeevithavum. It is a period drama, and then the director of this film, Ranjith, has used a framing device of Dulquer playing double role. So he's both Ravi, a modern-day blogger who writes under the name of this historical figure. He blogs about politics and makes commentary through his posts about this historical figure who mysteriously vanished the night of independence. And so Dulquer Salmaan both plays this modern day Ravi and the person that he writes about, K.T.N. Kottur. And I don't know what the initials KTN mean, so if somebody could explain that in the comments, that would be great, because there was sort of a line where they decide on that name, and I didn't really understand why that was amusing and there was obviously shades of meaning to that name. I think it's both a place, and then I don't know. So I would love to know more about what that whole title is about. So the entire framing device of the present day is director Ranjith has added to this novel. He also has the Ravi character, the modern day character. Not only is a blogger, but he decides to write a play about this historical person's life, and he's involved with some sort of theater group called, I think it was Roots or something. And so it's sort of, where the modern day characters who are also appear in the period flashbacks as their various characters. It goes back and forth between modern day and mostly in the period time. And Joy Matthew plays himself, so he is the director of the theater group. And I think possibly my favorite line of the entire movie is when he promises to direct this play that Dulquer's Ravi is going to write, and then somebody says, "Oh yeah, as soon as somebody offers you a movie where you can play a father or a priest, you'll be out of here." Or something to that effect. And I was just laughing because it's so true, because that's exactly the kind of role that he's always playing, like an amen or whatever. So that was very funny to me. This film, obviously I have not read the original Malayalam book that it was based on, and I really couldn't find that much about the book itself, but it sounded like it was a book that was sort of difficult to adapt, and I'm not sure the film is ambitious in what it's trying to do, but I felt like the language was extremely stilted. And some of that, the subtitles were not good. The subtitles were often very literal translations. I thought maybe it was just me and the way that the subtitles were, that they were so stilted sounding and archaic language sounding and very literal. And then trying to find out more information about how the film was adapted, I read a couple of other reviews, and they said evidently the Malayalam language was very stilted in the film as well. I had to laugh because one reviewer said how odd it was for, you don't really imagine Dulquer being able to pull off a period film, or it's just odd that he would even do that, which makes me laugh because this is from 2014, so this is the first period film that he did, and now here we are in 2018, and obviously he has had this huge success doing the period film from the same or similar time period, Mahanati, and he was a raging success. So it's just kind of funny that someone 4 years ago couldn't even imagine that he could pull off a period role. I do think Dulquer did a good job going back and forth between the two roles, the way the script was written. I have some issues with the script, and it's definitely the kind of adaptation where it is art with a capital A. Like, it is just, everything is fraught with symbolism. It's, I just the way that all the people in the theater group talk to each other, and then when we have with the scenes that are the play itself, it's just so, I don't know, it just came off to me as kind of pretentious. And I got the point that they were trying to make, and that is, here is this person from pre-independence days who was a social reformer and was advocating so much for the common man and so forth, and yet his personal life was a train wreck, and he was repeating the mistakes of his father, the landowner of the area. He was repeating the same mistakes by having mistresses and getting women pregnant when he wasn't married to them and all of this kind of stuff. I mean, there was an explicit scene where he's having sex with someone and then their face changes. And so they're like, pound it into you that it was all of the same thing. You know, it was mistakes repeating, even though he was espousing all of these wonderful, participating in this independence movement and had so many high ideals. In his actual life, he was a mess, and he was perpetuating the patriarchy and misogyny and all the rest of it. I don't know that I can necessarily recommend this film wholeheartedly. To me, it's one of those films where it was very ambitious. It was a big swing for the rafters, but a miss. It's an ambitious film. I stand here admiring what they were trying to do. I don't think I got all the shades of meaning. For example, in the early parts of the film, the main character's father is going up the hill with the flag. I don't know that I completely got the symbolism of what that was all about at that point in history, what it meant for this person in Kerala to do that. And I don't know, the film just to kind of assume that kind of knowledge, and I have seen other period films where I wasn't expected to come. So I don't know that I got the full impact of some of the scenes that were shown to me until I read about some of them later after the film. But to me, it was the stilted language that was really a problem. I think Dulquer did a good job with the script that he was given. It just, the English title was also Self-Portrait. So at one point, he has installed all of these small mirrors. In fact, the DVD sort of has the different characters in these mirror picture frames. And he just almost is having conversations with his father. He marries a blind woman who has sort of inner sight where she can see his ancestors. She can see what's going to happen. I don't know. It was like, I don't have a problem with magical realism, which is what this film was kind of about, which, I mean, it reminded me of Isabel Allende kind of books where there's just kind of a magical, mystical things going on in the film, in a historical family drama. I don't mind that. That was fine. But it just, like, there wasn't a particular focus. And then all of a sudden, just this historical figure just vanishes and we don't exactly know. I mean, it's left vague and a mystery. And I don't really kind of know what the point, when we finally get to the end of the film, the point was. Performances were very good. I thought Dulquer did a good job. I mean, he had to deliver some really stilted dialogues, but in the scenes where he was showing the weakness of his character, of falling for these different women, I enjoyed seeing his charm come through, and, you know, how he showed his character was conflicted in a way, just couldn't help himself, of loving all of these different women at different points of his life. And when he finds the full truth of the impact of what he had done, how it crushes him, how he had repeated in a way the mistakes of his father, and how his family was both just the family history led to it, but also how his relatives were complicit in making these tragedies happen. So there was 3 women who had lead roles: Jyothi Krishna, Anumol, and at this time of the film, Shruthi Ramachandran all had important roles in his life. So there were several women in the films. That's one nice thing about Malayalam films, that they have, strong women, but yet what happened to these women was still it was illuminating misogyny, illuminating the sins of patriarchy, I suppose. So it was showing us, it wasn't exactly showing a woman standing up to him. It was just all of these horrible things that happened to them. It was interesting to watch, but it's not one I'm going to seek out to watch again. I think it was interesting to see it in the arc of Dulquer Salmaan's career, and how this film came 4 years ago. Probably this was a good stepping stone. And then when he did have to do other period parts, a little bit in Kamati Padam, but even more so in Mahanati, he had this background. And I admire Dulquer for choosing to do different offbeat kind of parts. He wants to do something different almost every time. And he's genuinely seeking, learning to be better as an actor and to choose different kinds of roles and scripts that stretch him as an actor. So I do admire that. Even Shah Rukh Khan did some really bizarre art films or whatever too. So it was just very theater, kind of a film, and that's just not necessarily my thing. But it was interesting. So happy birthday, Dulquer, and I am looking forward to your new films like Karwan. And it's killing me that I'm probably not going to be able to see it opening day. It'll be a delay of a few days until I will be able to see Dulquer's Hindi debut with Irfan Khan. Looking forward to it so much. Anyway, if you enjoyed this film review, please press that like button, share the video, follow us on Twitter at PardesiYT, and subscribe to the Pardesi channel here. If you press the bell, you'll get a notification whenever I have a new film review or trailer reaction.